I don't think the outrage is enough. I don't think the anger is enough, because tell me why a black kid, 18 years old, a football player in the state of Mississippi, goes on a 4th of July hangout, boat trip with some people and does not come back. But they come back with his cell phone and his keys. And then the next day, or the 2 days after, because this happened on 4th of July,
they found him on the 6th.
They found him on a live. But you know what? As soon as I saw that they were looking for this kid, and I was like, yeah,
like R.I.P.
He's gone, unfortunately, because again, Mississippi, like, that's the deep south, no?
Yes, it is, and I'm so tired of us being. And when I say us, I mean black folks. I'm so tired of us being treated like disposable cups. Our lives are so disposable at this point. It's almost like, oh yeah, another one happened again. Okay, what's next?
Yeah,
it's one day, one trauma. Like we're barely over Carmelo Anthony's case,
and the 1-year-old that they shot at the mall, at the parking lot.
Dealing with that. Can you imagine the heaviness of that? We're still dealing with all that, and then on top of that, we can't even afford to go on vacation with people. Like imagine as a parent being worried about, oh, what's the race of the people you're going to hang out with.
But you have to.
Are you the only black person? Or are you not?
But
why is that something I should be worrying about in 2026?
You have to. Because
like this 4th of July was 250 years old. They celebrated.
Again, that's the thing. Like people are, I feel, and this opens up a bigger conversation, because I feel like parents of today, millennials, whoever you are, we are getting quite comfortable with some of these things, and we're not maybe passing some of that history. History is important. There's a reason why they're taking history out of the schools. There's a reason why, and I'm not saying this so that you can go and hate white people. Absolutely not.
No.
I don't believe that all white people are racist. No. I don't believe that all white people are bad people. Absolutely not. Because I know that even in the time of like the slave trade and all those, the colonial era, like there were white allies. There were actually people that were like, nah, this is messed up. Yeah. We cannot keep doing this. We're all humans. We're all one. I know that. So this is not to knock on the white race and call all of them. Absolutely not. But you know what? These are facts. Our history is fact. You cannot remove our history. So, as a parent of a black kid, you need to educate your kids. You need to educate, especially the black kids. What is their interaction with law enforcement like? Right? Are you teaching them to have their backs up and be defensive? Are you teaching them to like, okay, you know what? Recognize that you are black. Recognize that there's been history of police brutality against black people, even though not all the cops are bad. But this is how you comport yourself. Now, if you are going to a hangout that has predominantly white people, these are some things that you need to know. These are some red flags. These are some things that we have to start having those conversations, because if you had those conversations, I'm telling you that when you see certain things, you're going to be like, first of all, my black kid is not going on water with any. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I'm going on a private island that has no cell service, no reception or anything, which makes me question, how did those pictures then get uploaded? The group pictures that they have together, because you had said there was no cell service on that island.
Who knows? Maybe sometimes when when we're on a cruise, right? Yeah. Like sometimes you get into pockets. You can pick up some reception and this and that, right?
All that is not even the bone of contention for me, because apparently he went missing at 3 p.m. By 7 p.m. these people were still partying. The narration is that he had apparently gone off on another boat with this girl, but somehow you ended up with his phone and his keys. You deleted your Instagram profiles. All 3 or 4 of them have scrubbed off everything offline. They've lawyered up. Come to find out, one of them's mom is a judge. Surprise!
Something like that. Yeah,
a judge, a whole judge.
And one of them's dad is a doctor.
Can you imagine?
Right.
So these are probably elite. I mean, they have to be. They're renting boats and going off on a private island.
Right.
The girl who apparently was supposed to have gone off with Nolan says there was no arrangement of any sort for her and Nolan to have gone off on another boat. Her name is Katie. She was not. So she does not know what they're talking about. The boys are now feigning amnesia. They also don't remember what happened to Nolan the last time they saw him. Why you have his phone and his keys. Nobody's saying anything, because I guarantee you guys the next statement we're going to hear is through a lawyer. They're not going to be speaking to us. They've all lawyered up. So my question to the average American is, what can we do as black people where we're ensuring our safety naturally? Like, why do we always constantly have to like double check? Because I imagine I went to college in Utah, predominantly white state. If I were to go off on a spring break vacation or July 4th hangout, I wouldn't be saying, like, my immediate concern wouldn't be, oh, what's the color of everybody I'm hanging out with? Because it's a predominantly white state. Chances are I will be the only black person there. So is that now something I should be looking over my shoulder to say, you know what, you can't, like, don't go. Right. Your life is at stake.
So the thing with you is, because there are different lived experiences at this point, right? You grew up in Nigeria, right? So you have that you've not really you know how people say that we were aware of our blackness when we moved to the West,
Yes.
right? So a lot of us that grew up back home, we don't have the same, those kind of experiences that these guys here, right? But at the end of the day, you still have that, the history behind you, knowing that I still have to be cautious at, you know, when I'm with white people.
That's
or when I'm
that
with
cautiousness, I'm like, when does it end?
No, it doesn't end. It doesn't end because these guys enslaved a race for how long?
No.
And there was a point. I mean, it is crazy because let me tell you guys, if you don't know, there was a point in life where black people were used as sports.
Oh,
we were used as sports. So you cannot just like they said the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. You cannot just think that because now we have social media,
and
now we're advanced. But a lot of them carry these things on.
So strange.
A lot of them carry. So I know that these things are being passed from generation to generation because it's learned. So don't be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to relate with black people. They're just like, so those, I'm in a white school. I mean, this and that. Nobody's saying that that's all bad, but you need to be aware of your history because some people do not like you. Some people will only see you as inferior, as a sport. I was watching another video where there was this black girl. She was the only black girl there. They threw her in the swimming pool. She didn't want to be in the swimming pool. She was like, no, don't do that. They were like, oh, this, no, that. And
this weekend, this July 4th weekend as well?
I don't know what.
I saw a new video.
I don't know what weekend that was, but they threw her in. She didn't want to.
Yeah.
Right. And people were calling that out. Like you could clearly see the discomfort. They don't get again. If you have that history of these are people that would watch black people get devoured by animals, and they would cheer. They watch them fight each other to the death, and they would cheer on. And this. We are a lot of times we are entertainment for them.
It's almost like a humiliation ritual.
It is
for us.
Let me tell you something else, right? God, I just lost my train of thought. There's something else that we need to know also is there are some times where and this is why that history and that conversation is important, because sometimes when some black people find themselves in the midst of white people because of how things are, they feel like, oh, white people are superior and things like that. They try to
cower.
Not in addition to the cowering, they try to go outside of what is natural to them to sort of impress, to get their approval, right?
And we need to see that.
Right. We need to start to talk to our kids because again, now. There are videos, I'm just going to digress a little bit because I saw a video where it seemed like Nolan got into an argument with some of these kids, right? So there's that, there was like some kind of altercation and all of that. They're saying that happened. Yeah. Now, let me play the devil's advocate. Maybe these guys were good people. Maybe they didn't, do anything diabolical to him and it was an accident and he fell off the boat and things like that, right? Let's say maybe. Now, there are times when following up to what I was saying about how some black people want their approval, they cower, they do all these things. There might have been a situation where, just imagine if there was a situation where maybe they were doing some kind of maybe truth or dare.
Right, I was going to say they dared him, yeah.
Truth or dare, and he made dare, and he's like, oh no, I don't want. They're like, come on, you're not a chicken, come on, show us what you got. And maybe he's like, you know what, and then maybe he went too far, maybe something happened. We don't know. But the fact that these guys came back.
That's what I was going to say. Like, isn't that enough for you people to say? Like, even if, let's assume that scenario was what it was, the moment he didn't come back up from the water, like, shouldn't you be raising alarms to say, we need help, somebody's not here? Like, what did you fools think was going to happen by the time you go back to land and one of you is missing? The clearly black one out of all of you. That's supposed to be the most obvious. Like, even if there was no head count, even if there was 12 of you and now there's only 10, the obviously person of color that was on the boat, you don't even need a head count for that. The obvious person is no longer there. I would not be going back home until the lifeguard, until whatever security system is on that island finds him. The alarm would have started from there, because why are you still partying at 7 if he went missing at 3? Make it make sense. Right. And then you're going to deliver his cell phone to his mother. Are you right. Yeah. There will be mass burials. I'm sorry. The moment you guys brought me that phone, you will join my kid. I don't care. Yeah. It's giving Get Out. It's giving Hotspur. It's giving Kendrick Johnson. There's so many scenarios where we've seen this play out over and over again, and I'm so literally sick of being treated like a disposable object. We are human lives. That's a whole child, a possible father, a possible husband, a possible grandfather to somebody. A possible
star athlete.
What the hell?
Star athlete.
You guys keep eating and eating and eating black people. Like, make it stop. Just stop. We're tired.
Yeah. It's so unfortunate, and I think that the earlier we start to have those conversations. I have a 9-year-old son, and I talked to him from even since when he was maybe 6 or 7. I'm telling him, I'm not trying to like get scare him or get him to hate. He has friends that are out that are not all black. He has like
I mean, in Canada, you have to.
Yeah. He has all that, but he's aware. He is aware, right? He's like, okay, I may not get the same. If push comes to shove, the white person does it, they'll probably get it. They will get lesser or nothing at all. You not so much. You will get the long end, the brunt of the law, the long end of the stick. You are going to get it because this is our history. This is what it is. So you need to be extra cautious. You need to be extra careful and things like that. You need to be aware of your strength because someone might hit you and you try to hit somebody back, and then it might be a little bit too much because the force, blah blah blah. You have to be aware. Not saying that you should sit down and take it when someone hits you. You need to defend yourself, but you need to make sure that the defense is appropriate. Like, we are having these conversations. He's 9 years old.
Yeah, and to kind of wrap this up, the point you made about like a black kid, especially a single black kid, in the midst of other white kids and them trying to like, that struck me because I can easily, even like within black folk, you notice that there is preference given to light-skinned people. Yep. So I don't know what social construct we're under to think that as long as a person's skin is fairer than yours, you have to kind of, there's a superiority, there's a quiet, silent superiority that is automatically implied, and then you have to do whatever you can to seek that person's approval. So the conversation with your kids also needs to shift to black is premium.
Right.
Black is special.
Black don't crack.
Your skin is gold.
That's it.
You cannot, under any circumstance, especially when you start to feel uncomfortable, go outside your natural will and do what another person has asked you to do to impress a group of people. I don't care where you find yourself, because I might not always be there. It might be camping, it might be whatever it is, spring break.
Oh yeah.
Because imagine trying to tell an 18-year-old who to hang out with. You probably won't be able to.
Oh, I know myself. I'm going to be there. I will rent another boat and just be hanging out somewhere.
I don't know that we might always be available. So when I'm not there, don't ever feel like you need to bow, remove your crown for anybody else.
Absolutely not.
Think you need to impress anybody else, senior, junior, mate, whoever you are. The moment you make me or try to make me do something as a ritual or as the whole group is saying, are you a chicken? I'm a chicken.
I'm a chicken. Yeah, clock.
I'm a black chicken.
That's it.
I will, anyhow you want me to clock, I will clock.
Right.
No, we're not doing it. So that confidence conversation needs to happen. Let's start from our houses.
We have to
start to fight this system issue, because
we have to.
Honestly, I'm tired. I'm really tired. I don't want to be on the news and see another black kid was murdered.
It's so unfortunate. And the last thing I'm going to say is, there was another video that I saw recently where these kids, and these were much younger kids, right? They were on some kind of lake, and they had left the black boy in the water, and he couldn't swim.
Gosh.
Right? And they were like, okay, try to find your way back and stuff like that. And it was another family that saw the boy and picked him up and put him on their kayak or something and brought him out, right? And these kids were much younger. So these are the things that I'm saying, that this is how racism spreads, and this is how it continues, and people are continuing, because a lot of times their parents may not tell them to be racist, or they may, but they see their actions, they see their scoffs when they see a black person come up on the television, or when they hear that a black person committed a crime or something like that. They see all those things, and the kids are taking it, they're learning those things. So why are we as black people not having those conversations? You have to have those conversations. You have to be on your guard as a black person, as a black child, growing up, whether you're in Canada, in America, in Australia, wherever you are, in the UK, anywhere you are, you need to be on your guard. Especially when you have kids that go in predominantly white schools, predominantly white neighborhoods. You need to know the history. Go back and learn what happened to your people and have better understanding, so that you can differentiate and discern who is an ally and who is an unfriendly friend.
Also, to add to that, I know we keep saying we're going to wrap up, but I just keep thinking of so many things. When I also think that for the white people, because when we said that the parents might not have told them to do anything, but like the kids are probably fascinated by our skin color. I remember being an immigrant kid in a college, and my roommates, it was 6 of us in the room. They were so fascinated by the fact that we now have a black person in our room, so they wanted to know about my hair, they wanted to know about where I come from, my country, microaggressions, and so they wanted to see my abilities. Almost, it's almost like they were pushing me. And when I think about it, after George Floyd, one of them actually sent me a DM to be like, I'm so sorry if I've said or implied anything or asked you to do anything that made you uncomfortable, because I remember they'll tell me things like, oh, black people twerk, why don't you show us how to twerk? And those are on a very micro level. But I also think that when it comes to stuff like, I dare you to swim, or I dare you to, it's almost like a fascination that they want to see the extent that your blackness will get you.
Or your ability to endure pain.
Exactly. So it's a rite of passage, or a rite of something that they feel like they, at least once in their life, they need to see what a black person is capable of. So it might not even have been that their parents were racist or anything. It is that fascination is like, somebody from another color, from another race, and there's more of us, so all of us, if we say it together, they'll tend to do it. Again, tell your black kids not to. They don't have to.
Right.
I'll be aware that we all grew up in America. The same thing you can do, I can do. Okay? And I'm not more powerful than you. You're not more powerful than me. We're all mates. So don't feel like there's anything you can ask me to do to impress you guys, is where I'm going to leave it. So we're still following the story. Hopefully we can hear more. There's reports that it was bruises on his body. I'm especially looking forward to hearing that, something happened where there was a fight, and there's blunt force traumas here and there. That opens up a whole new case, right? Because now they're trying to make it sound like he drowned. I don't don't think that's what happened. Those people definitely did something. So we're following the story, and hopefully we can get justice in this case. I'm not that hopeful, but we'll see. All right, guys.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
In the meantime, keep looking out for each other. Apply that pressure when you need to.
Absolutely.
Do not allow anyone to make you feel lower than you are.
Less than you are.
Less than you are. You're less than you are. You're a king. You're a queen. And
Black is king.
wear your crown. Keep your head up high, and that's it.
Hi family, welcome to my channel. I'm Judith Ugo. Nolan Wells, 18-year college player football, went out on 4th of July with his 3 white friends on a trip to Mississippi. Nolan left home on 4th of July on a trip to Mississippi with 3 white friends. And his friends returned home. He did not. That means his friends did not find or consider him if he is with them or he is not with them. They did not check on him. It was after 2 days the mother was tracking his son's phone and made complaint. He got the phone and his key. These white 3 friends of Nolan Wells. Oh my God. What really happened? Are you people really his friends or his enemy? White. See how you have wasted talents. So, it's very questionable. You people's attitude is very questionable. It's unacceptable. But investigation is still going on. Their families are asking questions to find out, to finalize the outcome and the circumstances of their son's death. Because I don't know what to say. Family, please drop your comments. Don't fail to drop your comments. And watch out the end.
How is Nolan Wells the only one who didn't return home safe, but every single one of his friends did? And how do a group of friends go on a trip and come home without one of their friends? So if you haven't heard, on July 4th, 18-year-old Nolan Wells went on a boat trip with his supposed friends to Horn Island in Mississippi to celebrate and have a good time. Later on, his friends left that island without him, and soon after that, he was found deceased. And when his friends were questioned, they said very mixed things. One of them said that they thought he got on another boat, another one said that they had no idea where he was, and a third one said that he just went off with his girlfriend. I mean, it is just not adding up. Soon after that, a video began circulating online of what seems to be Nolan arguing with his friends on Horn Island. You can see Nolan here on the left and his friends huddled up over here on the right, and it seems like all of them are teaming up on him, and if you listen to the video, it sounds like they're saying something along the lines of, "Get off the effing boat." It was also revealed that Nolan and the girl that he was seen talking to, Katie, met each other on that island. They were not in a relationship prior to this, and many people are speculating that Nolan's friends got into an argument with him over him talking to Katie for whatever reason. And after Nolan was found deceased, people are saying that his friends didn't make a single post about him, that they actually deleted their social media accounts. They then lawyered up because their parents are people of power, one of them being, I believe, a judge and another having a detective as a parent. And since then, the family of Nolan Wells has retained a well-known civil rights attorney, so it looks like both of these families are willing to investigate further and fight this. Rest in peace to Nolan Wells. Let me know what you guys think about this, and as any new details come out, I'll keep you guys updated.
Y'all, if Nolan's family didn't believe there were still unanswered questions, they wouldn't have done this. They just hired Ben Crump, and baby, you already know what that means. If you haven't been following this case, Nolan Xavier Wells went to Horn Island on the 4th of July with 3 white boys. There was reportedly an altercation between Nolan and the group. For whatever reason, Nolan never got back on the boat. The 3 boys returned to shore without Nolan. Unfortunately, yesterday, Nolan's body was found off the shore of Horn Island, and now people have noticed that every one of those boys, and even some of their parents, has reportedly wiped their social media. Ben Crump's law firm has now announced they'll conduct an independent review into the circumstances surrounding Nolan's death, saying they're looking for answers and transparency. Now, here's why people are still asking questions. The boys allegedly said Nolan didn't want to get back on the boat and that they last saw him on shore. They also claimed they couldn't find him after 3 p.m. But witnesses reportedly saw an argument around 5 p.m., and another photo reportedly shows all 3 boys in the water together, appearing to be having a good time. We also know, through Katie's mother, that Katie got back on the boat, but not with Nolan. She left with another friend. Authorities are saying it appears to be a drowning, but a whole lot of people believe there are still too many pieces that don't fit, y'all. If the official timeline makes perfect sense, then why does this family feel they need an independent investigation? Because somebody knows what happened that day. The question is, are they finally going to tell it? Y'all, somebody is lying. Because after Nolan Wells' parents' press conference, this timeline makes even less sense than it did before. Nolan's parents actually went to the exact spot where his body was later found. The day before he was found. Yes, you heard that right. During the press conference, Nolan's father explained that he didn't have a boat the night his son disappeared. So around 5 a.m. the next morning, one of Nolan's coaches offered to take him out to Horn Island. They searched the island everywhere and couldn't find Nolan. What's also important is that people had stayed overnight on the island and there were boats docked there. So if Nolan had really been stranded, he would have had people to ask for help or at least somewhere to take shelter. Then the very next day, the family got the call that Nolan's body had washed ashore in an area they had already searched. Now let's talk about what happened at the friend's house. When Nolan's parents went to pick up his car, one of the boys who had been on the boat gave them a hard time about handing over the keys. Nolan's father asked him to check his room. He came back saying he couldn't find him, but then his father overheard him on the phone with a young woman, and she told him the keys were sitting on top of the Xbox. After saying he had already searched the room, he suddenly came back with the keys. Then, once police were on the way, the family reportedly refused any further interaction with Nolan's family or law enforcement. Now let's get to the timeline. The boys and one of their mothers, who's a judge, reportedly said they left the island sometime between 3 and 4:30 p.m. But Nolan's mother didn't get a call saying her son wasn't back until 11:07 that night. The girl they've linked Nolan to also reportedly said she saw him getting on the boat with his friends around 3 p.m. So if they left with Nolan's phone, why did it take until almost 11 o'clock to tell his parents he wasn't there? And they never even told his mom they had his phone. She had to track it herself and send someone to pick it up. Do you think this is really just a tragic accident? Or do you believe there's still a major piece of this story that hasn't come out yet? Because this timeline is exactly why so many people still have questions.
No one realized that within just 12 hours of Nolan Xavier Wells being found on the island, his parents made 3 heartbreaking decisions. Not long ago, 18-year-old football player Nolan Xavier Wells disappeared while taking a boat with friends to Horn Island to celebrate the 4th of July, drawing nationwide attention. After 2 days and 2 nights of searching by his family and law enforcement, he was finally found in the waters off the island's northwest shore. Tragically, he showed no signs of life. The devastating news shattered his parents, especially his mother, Christine Wansley, who said she was furious. First, she insisted Nolan's death was the result of a conspiracy. She pointed out that every other teenager on the boat made it home safely. Although they had taken photos together during the trip, they later claimed they couldn't remember what happened. They even returned to shore with Nolan's cell phone. She questioned how a young person could possibly leave their phone behind. She also noted that within hours of the incident, every family had already hired a lawyer, and one of the teens' parents is reportedly a judge. If they did nothing wrong, why were they so quick to get lawyers? She asked. Second, Christine refused to bury Nolan, even after the medical examiner completed the autopsy. She believes her son went through something no one has revealed, and says she will wait until those so-called friends tell the whole truth before laying him to rest. Most importantly, she launched a GoFundMe campaign to help cover future legal expenses, vowing to fight for her son to the very end. She is also considering holding a public memorial service for Nolan in Mississippi.
Nolan Wells wasn't killed by his friends. And this investigation just started. I mean, his body was found just yesterday. Give the investigation some time before we start hearing these crazy ass stories. And the amount of people that are saying that he was killed because he was the token black guy in his friend group is fucking insane.
Yeah, we're not doing that shit. What you make it out to be is like some innocent, well, it's not the friends, don't get after the friends. No, what you're doing is you're victim blaming. You're putting this at the feet of Nolan Wells. Like he is somehow at fault for what happened to him. The fact that he is dead is on Nolan Wells and nobody else because it can't be his friends. Where's the human sympathy in this? Where's the address of Nolan Wells, the person, and saying, I'm sorry for the loss, for the family's loss, who lost a son, for Nolan Wells, who lost his future. You're going to come on here and immediately take up the side of something you know nothing about? You say we know nothing about it. You know nothing about it either. So don't come on here and put this at the feet of Nolan Wells. The young man is dead. Somebody is responsible. And people need to figure it the fuck out.
I would have bet my last dollar that these people investigating the Nolan Wells case would have said that they didn't suspect any foul play. And that's exactly what they did. So now the sheriff department is claiming that they don't suspect any foul play in the Nolan Xavier Wells case. This young man went to an island with his friends. His so-called friends left him on that island. They all got home safe, untouched, nobody hurt, and acted like they didn't know where their friend was. Key word, their friend. So you go to an island with your friend. Your friend mysteriously turns up missing. That doesn't ring an alarm to you? Or how about the fact that everybody gets home, deletes their social media, and everybody lawyers up? That still don't seem like foul play was involved. Then you got the sheriff on record telling ABC News that Nolan's friends left Horn Island and went back without Nolan, and from what his friends understood, he chose to stay there. So let me get this right. They all had to get on a boat to go to Horn Island. And when it was time to go back, Nolan said, nah, I don't want to go back with y'all. Go back without me. Does that sound right? But see, here's the thing, right? You see how fast these people stuck together? Came right back, got their stories correct, lawyered up, shut all their social media pages down, and everybody is sticking to one story. But this is exactly how they do. Black parents, I need you to listen to this. This is coming from a white man.
You've got to teach your kids.
Listen.
Especially your kids that are hanging out with rich white kids. That is not good. You gotta stop letting them hang out with rich white kids. This Nolan Wells situation never should have happened. The parents of Nolan Wells should have known better than to let him hang out with these kids.
And that's coming from a white man. Black parents, protect your children. They are not safe. Pay attention to the climate we're in right now. Protect your children.
Wait, major update on Nolan. So you're telling me the news and police lied that Nolan friends did not give back his phone to the mom. The mom had to track the phone down and go to the friend house and make them give the phone back.
Honestly, for both instances, it was a runaround because I knew she had issues getting his phone as well. And she ended up calling me, and I think I spoke with her mother. She put me on speakerphone, and I was like, hey, yes, I'm Christine, I'm Nolan's mom. You need his phone, we're trying to find him.
Where both his Snapchats have been wiped of everything that happened that day in conversation. Then they lied about not knowing where Nolan car keys was to the where they homegirl said, Cap, the keys is on top of the Xbox. She seen him put it there. And his homeboys had to go get it. The dad took a boat to the island on July 5th to try to find his body. They could not find it. He went missing July 4th, but he magically appeared July 6th. There were people on the island and all. No one seen a body float. But on July 6th, when no one was there, that's when the body appeared. Yo, do you think we stupid? Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what Mississippi Sheriff Department got going on, but at this point, a higher power needs to investigate this. Bring the FBI or private investigators, because clearly the Sheriff Department got some other means.
Why are white men so afraid of strong black women? I've had to deal with comments today that were misogynistic and racist and homophobic and transphobic, all because of a strong black woman. And you bet your bottom dollar that I called out every single one of them because I am that guy. I won't stand for hate. But I'm not afraid of a strong black woman. I'm proud of a strong black woman because she's had to deal with all of that garbage, and she's still a strong black woman. I'll stand proudly by her any day.
I have decided to cover all of Nolan Wells' funeral expenses and help fulfill the 3 dreams he never got the chance to achieve. First, I will personally meet with Chiefs General Manager Brett Veach and use part of my contract money to secure Nolan an honorary place with the team. Then I will personally create a Kansas City Chiefs jersey with his name and number on it and deliver it to his family. To me, he was never just a name. He was a rising star with a bright future in football. Second, I will establish a scholarship in Nolan's name to help young athletes who, like him, are chasing their dreams but don't have enough opportunities or resources. I hope every kid who puts on football pads and steps onto the field in the future will remember the boy who always brought smiles to the people around him. Finally, I will personally visit Nolan's parents and cover the full cost of his funeral. I don't want them to worry about financial burdens while enduring the unimaginable pain of losing their son. More than anything, I want them to know this. Nolan has not been forgotten. The entire football world will remember this one eight-year-old young man.
Okay, family. Thank you for watching my video. Remember to subscribe. I will see you in my next episode.